Hey everyone, welcome to Salt Life Builds. If you've seen my videos before, you know that my wife is behind a lot of my builds. She has this great eye for interior design, and instead of spending thousands of dollars on pre-made furniture, I can just make it for like $1. Okay, maybe a little more, but you get the point. But her last request was a little more out there. She wants to turn my workshop into a 4-season porch. Now, my old man once told me, happy wife, happy life. So I said yes. And I've started to move all of my stuff into the garage. The problem is our garage can barely fit our 2 cars as it is right now. So there would be no place for a workbench to go. That is why I had to build one that folds in and out. And so in this video, I'm going to show you how I built it and also what not to do. Now don't worry, I show you how to fix that problem so it doesn't happen to you. The first step is to measure how big you would like your bench to be. Mine needed to be 65 inches long by 36 inches wide. You then need to transfer those measurements to a piece of 1/2-inch plywood and strip it to size. To secure the 2x4s, I clamped down the edges and added 2 screws to the bottom to hold them in place. Once secured, I was able to flip it over and add more screws. Flip it back over and measure the insides. Cut them to length and screw them in as well. Prop the table back up and move on to cutting the legs. It's important to remember that the legs need to be a little under half the length of the 2x4 sides, or else they won't fold in completely without hitting each other. Once they were all cut, you can see me here checking to make sure that once the wheels were attached, the legs would still fit. To get the legs to pivot, you need to round the corners. I used an old car filter jig to trace my circle, but anything would work, like a cup or a roll of tape. Before you cut the corners, you want to butt the 2x4 up to the wall and drill your 3/8 inch hole. Once the hole is drilled, there are a few ways to round the 2x4. The easiest is with a jigsaw. But if you don't have one, you could always use a skill saw and carefully trim down the corners. Then, once the corners are trimmed down, you can add the 3/8 bolt with 2 washers and a nut to secure the legs. Once you have all the legs attached, you need to connect the adjacent legs with a cross piece. Because my wheels were a little bigger, I needed to add small blocking for more area to attach the wheels to. Once you have the wheels attached, go ahead and set it up. Now, to avoid this from happening, you need to add a brace between the legs to secure them so they don't fold in when they're not supposed to. For these, you need to cut 2 pieces to fit between the legs. Once cut, take the 2 pieces and find the middle. Take a scrap 2x4, center it on the line, and find the edges. Clamp the 2 pieces together and cut out the part that was shaded. Put in the pieces. And then measure and cut a 2x4 to fit the distance. Set it into the notches that you created and trace the beam. Once it's traced, you can cut it out and test the fit. Now don't test things the way I do. The bench is now completed. We just have to finish the place where it's going to be stored. To find the height of the base support, I pushed the table up against the wall where I wanted it to go and traced the bottom of the tabletop. Once it was traced, I pulled the table away and screwed in a scrap piece below the line. Next, slide the table over that base, lift it up, and trace the top of the table. Cut a strip off the extra plywood. Don't worry, size doesn't matter. Then screw it in above the line. Lift the table back up and mark where the latch should go. Screw in the top part of the latch first, and then screw in the bottom to the table. And that's it. If you made it all the way to the end, seriously, you're the best, and I appreciate you all. Leave a comment below if you have any questions, and I'll catch you in the next one.